back to my channel. I've got a really simple video for you today. I get asked this question so many times. How can I cook rice perfectly? Every time. Alright. It's really simple. It's just a few things you need to remember. Now this video is for white rice. It's going to be different for brown rice, so I'm going to do a separate video for that. But for white rice, let's begin. Now you're going to need a pot that is big enough to comfortably hold all of the rice and liquid that you want to cook. So make sure it's big enough so that it doesn't overflow. And it should have a lid. And it's best if you could get one with a lid that has the little, what would you call that? A little hole in the top to let the steam escape so that you don't get this. Because if you don't have that little hole to let the steam escape a little bit, it'll tend to boil over, or you know, it'll shake the lid, and it's best to get the one with the little hole. So the first thing that you're going to do is measure out your rice. Now you don't need a measuring cup to do this. You could just use a regular cup. But in the interest of this video, I'm using about 2 cups in my measuring cup here. So if you didn't have a measuring cup, let's say you had a glass. You could use a glass like this and just fill it up to how much you want, and then fill up your water to the same amount. So you don't really need a cup or any unit of measurement. Just a visual is fine. So the first thing you want to do after you measure your rice is put it in the pot, and you want to rinse it, because the rice that they have today has arsenic on it, and you don't want to be eating arsenic. So what you do is fill up your pot as much as you can with cold water. So you can do this in a separate bowl if you want. I'm just going to do it in the pot because I hate washing things. So as it's filling up, you can just swirl it around gently. Don't slop it all over the place, because you're going to lose some rice if you do. But just keep swirling it until you feel like you've got out enough of the rice dust. And you can see the water's turning white. So just let that settle for a second, and then pour off very carefully, slowly, the rice water. And a lot of people will pour this into a strainer. If you don't feel confident, you're afraid you're going to dump it, don't be proud. Get a little strainer and pour it into a strainer, and then you could put whatever rice you lost back in the pot and start over. So that's one rinse. I'm going to do the same thing a second time. Just going to rinse it really well, and then I'm going to pour off that water. Very carefully. You'll get the hang of this if you do it often enough. Get out as much of the water as you can. You might lose 1 or 2 grains, but hey, that's life. Alright, so you've got your drained rice. Now you're going to put 2 times the amount of water that you had of rice. So if you had 2 cups of rice, put in 4 cups of water. So here's the first 2. Then I'm going to put in another 2. So if you can do the math, if you've got 1 cup of rice, then it's 2 cups of water. If you've got 1 glass of rice, it's 2 glasses of water. So you got all your water in there. Then take it over to the stove and put it on medium-high heat. And you're going to that's about medium-high, where it's just licking the pot out to the edges of the pot. Now, I like to cook my rice with some olive oil and some salt. So you can use, if you don't like olive oil, you can use coconut oil, you can use vegetable oil. I just really like the taste of olive oil. Coconut oil is probably the healthiest oil that you could put in there with the rice, but I like olive oil. And I'm also going to add to the pot about between half a teaspoon and a teaspoon of Himalayan sea salt. Add those two things, mix it up, put the lid on, and keep an eye on it. Alright, it's been about 9 minutes, and this is what you're looking for. See around the edges, it's starting to boil a little bit. Once that really starts getting to go, probably in about another 30 seconds, you're going to want to turn the heat down till it's just like that. If you have a gas stove, put it on low if you have an electric stove. And then you're going to put the cover on and set a timer for about 17.5 minutes. And when the timer goes off, turn off the flame and let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then you're ready to go. Alright, timer's going off, and this is what it looks like. You can see all the liquid has been absorbed. You're just going to turn it off, let it sit for 5 minutes, let it rest, and we'll come back and show you how it looks. Alright guys, moment of truth time. It's been about 5, 6, 7 minutes. There's the rice. And here's the true test. Will it come out clean? Yep. There you go. It's not stuck. It's not burnt, I meant to say. It's perfectly cooked. All you have to do is flake it a little bit, and it's perfectly cooked white basmati rice. So simple. Let me know if you guys make it and how it turns out. And until next time, much love.
Edit.